Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and today, as you can see, we are celebrating 1,000 subscribers. I know in the grand scheme of things that still makes me a small fry, and I'm okay with that. It means at least 1,000 of you found something of value in the videos that I make, and that makes me pretty happy. So thanks for joining me. As you can see, we're going to have a freebie, and this is going to be our freebie right here. This is one of the sets of Christmas tags that I created. Most of, if not all of the images I'm going to show you are from Creative Fabrica. That would be the backgrounds, the banners, some of the fonts, and of course all of the little images. So this is one of the first sets I created, and I just think this is so adorable with that sweater in the background and all of the really cute images. So I measured these tags, and they came out to be about just a hair over 2 inches. It's not even 2 1/8 by 3 and almost 1/4. And so they're a little bit larger than, the typical store-bought tags, but you can always resize these and make them smaller if you like, or even larger. I've saved them as a PNG, which means the background is transparent, so you could print them on any color paper. And but they do come in as one file. So you will have to separate them, and I will show you later how to do that. But I'm going to give away a couple of different freebies. This is going to be one of them. And then there are some other sets that I've created that I want to, I'm hoping to actually sell. They're going to be $1 a piece, and all of the sets have anywhere between 9 or 12 tags in them. And the reason I want to sell them is, things are kind of tough here in America in particular right now, which is where I am. A lot of benefits have been cut. A lot of people are struggling, and we're going into the holidays. And one of my most probably powerful memories as a child was in 1975 in our Christmas holiday. Our church came forward and really helped give us a very special Christmas. My father was sick. He'd been sick for a couple of months, and he ended up passing away in February of the following year. And so it was our last Christmas with him, and it was pretty special because people stepped in and helped a family who was struggling. My mom was going to school full-time at that time, as well as working full-time and trying to raise 5 kids, one of whom was still a baby, and take care of her dying husband, which fortunately one of his sisters was able to step in and help out with that quite a bit. But it would have been a very bleak Christmas for us. So part of my journey since then, this was, 50 years ago, has been trying to give back when I can. And one of the things I want to do this year is I do want to adopt a family. Some of the organizations I'm involved in are talking about that. And we've got a couple of different ways to go about that. So we're talking about adopting families that we can give to for Christmas, for the holiday, so that they can experience that same special moment that they can carry forward in their lives and not feel bad about it and not remember the holiday in a negative way. And the other thing I want to do is there are a number of food pantries here who are also struggling because with the government shutdown and benefits not being issued to those who need the most, to the most vulnerable among us, we've got a lot of food pantries who are also in crisis, trying to meet the needs of the people who depend on them. So we want to be able to donate to the food pantries as well, which we already do, but we'd like to do that on a grander scale since the need has dramatically increased right now. So some of the sets will be on sale, and I think I've got 15 of them so far. I will continue to add more every day. I'll be selling them on Ko-Fi, and they'll be $1 a piece. So for one sheet of 9 or 12 Christmas tags, it's $1. And everything we raise from that will go to help these families and those in need during the holidays. So there'll be 3 freebies. Everything else will be for sale. You can always donate if you want or pay extra on Ko-Fi. I'm not asking you to do that. I know that not everybody can, but for those of you that can and feel compelled to, I'm going to thank you right now here in advance, because I know that your donation will mean a lot to some of the people here in this area. I live in Arkansas. We are either the poorest or the second poorest state in the United States, and it shows. So everything helps. Every little bit helps. So this is how I'm, trying to give back to make a bigger impact. I'm still going to send out my cards with the Angel Card Project, but I wanted to do something to hopefully help raise a little bit of money for some of our local families who are really struggling. And, for those of you that can and want to help, I am so grateful to you, and I want to thank you very much. Some of the tags are squared off like the ones I'm showing you, so you could cut those with your paper trimmer if you wanted to. I prefer the guillotine just because for my paper trimmer it kind of shreds the edge a little bit. It's not drastic or anything, but I don't like it, so I prefer my guillotine cutter. But some of the tags are rounded, and those won't work with your cutters. They will work with your electronic cutting machines though. So I'm going to show you later in the video how to pull those into Design Space. And once we've done that, I'll show you how I then separate those images or those tags and get them to print on one page. So with that said, let's go ahead and show you some of the other tags that we've created. Or I say we, because we're a team, y'all. We're a team. But some of the other tags I've created. Hold on just a moment. Okay, so here are the other tags, and this first one is Colorful Candy Christmas 2. I actually created 3 of these sets, but I think I forgot to show you one of them. I apologize, I'm having to overdub because my sound came out really warbled and weird. So that's why I might be a little bit off, but this is one of 3 sets. So this is the second one, and these 3 will be for sale. I can't remember what I said I was giving away, but I don't think it was any of these 3. But I love the colorful backgrounds. They're very kid friendly. You've got the trains, you've got 2 of those, you've got the carousel and the fair, and just colorful fountains. And I just think these are adorable, and like I said, very kid friendly. There's a Christmas candy background is the outside layer, and I like these so much. I actually had 3 sets of them from Creative Fabrica that I made 3 sets of tags. And so the next one, I believe, is, this is set number 1. And this is cute too. You've got the tree, which is all candy. These fairies or princesses, I guess. You've got 2 of those. You've got 2 kings or princes, and then you've just got a lot of other cute stuff. So this is from Colorful Candy Christmas 1 tag set, and so I'm guessing 3 is the one I must have missed. So this is the set I showed you that I cut out by hand with my guillotine, and that was the set that's on my desk. And I love this gingerbread cookies or sugar cookies on this sweater background. I just think those are adorable. Then you've got this really colorful pink and blue set, mostly pink, but the trees I think are really cute. I kind of lined them up like a tic-tac-toe. Then you've got the houses. You've got 3 of those, a gingerbread man who's adorable, and then 2 of these snowflakes, which I also really like. I love these cookie snowflakes that are frosted. They're so pretty. Now this one I really like. This one's a little bit more on the adult side. I'm calling this one Christmas Owls, and this was another image set from Design Space. And some of them are going sideways. These are owls on a bench, which are actually my favorite. But there were even more designs in this set that I wasn't able to use because I could only get 12 to a page of 8.5 by 11. Now, like I said, you could resize them if you want. These I would definitely not cut out by hand unless you love fussy cutting, which I don't. But if you do, you could certainly cut them out by hand. These are definitely more designed for your digital cutting machines, unless you just happen to have a die that fits. I mean, you know, stranger things have happened, I guess. But I just thought these were very just adorable. I mean, I love Christmas blues colors just because winter's kind of a blue color. It's one of my favorite colors again. It was my first favorite color as a child, and I'm back to owning that color. And and the owls, they're just so regal, I guess, kind of in a way. So I thought this set was really cute as well. Okay, so this next set, these are trains, different sets. It's a different, well, it's one set of trains from Creative Fabrica, but there was a large number of images in it, and I thought these were really cute. Sometimes it's hard, for me at least, to find things for boys or men that I feel like kind of go with the theme. It's just a personal thing, but I thought the trains would really be cute for somebody who's into trains, particularly a young person. I thought young boys in particular would enjoy those. And this next one, again, we're back to the frosted cookies, but this time we've added the luxury kind of backgrounds with the foils and the velvets and that kind of stuff and the rhinestones. I thought these were also really, really cute. I had a hard time choosing all of the different backgrounds because I wanted to be a variety of things, but then, you know, which tree goes on which background. So I think in the end it worked out pretty well, but I'm pretty happy with these. And again, this is one you could cut out by hand. I would prefer to do it in my Cricut, but you can do it by hand if you like. It's nice straight edges. So now we've got Santa, and Santa's on all of these Christmas plaids. So this is different Santas on every single one of them, and different plaids. I did use the plaids each one twice. I didn't have as many plaids in traditional Christmas colors as I thought I did, but I think these are really cute too, and they work for everybody. Now this set, this is what I'm calling the dark blue and gold background set. This is my favorite. To me, this is, well, I tend to think, I don't feel like I'm a bougie person, but I kind of feel like these are bougie, and I do like these. These are my favorite. I love the dark contrast between the dark blue background and the gold ornaments and, you know, different gold elements of them. I just think these are so pretty. It might be hard to find wrapping paper to go with them. You might want to go with something that's gold or dark blue or something, but I thought these were gorgeous. So this is just one more of the sets that is going to be available. And I'd like to know what you think about this one. Do you like it as much as I do? Do you hate it? It's okay if you hate it. I want to know. Do people like this? Because I think it's pretty fantastic. So please tell me in the comments if you like this one. So this one again is more traditional. In the color scheme at least. It's called Christmas Butterflies, and that was kind of the name of the design set from Creative Fabrica. But everything's in the reds and greens and golds. And then there's kind of a washy striped background that I used for the very bottom layer of these to outline the tags. And of course I love butterflies, so for me this is Christmassy, but it might not be for everybody. Although the Santas make it Christmassy, really the only thing that probably isn't traditionally Christmassy is all the butterflies, but I still think it's pretty and I would use it. And then we have this, again, another cute set. These are shaped like Christmas ornaments, and I love these blue and gold, this lighter blue and gold backgrounds. And I did move the to and from box around on these ornaments because I wanted to highlight the background in the best way possible. So that's why they kind of look like they're floating all over the place. But I do like these ornaments a lot. Again, that's because I really love the blues for Christmas. It's just a cool winter color, and it just feels good to me. So I use it a lot. I do have other colors I can make some with, like lavenders and pinks, and I think I've even got like a pink and green, like almost in a baby type, or very young type of color scheme. So these here are calling them elegant Christmas ornaments. No, I forgot to change the name on this one, but I chose this background first, and then I realized I was going to struggle to put anything on it because nothing really showed up well on this background. So I ended up taking most of the images that I had that were in black, and I just changed them to white and laid them over this background image. But you've got a bunch of flying Santa and reindeer, which are really cute. You've also got a couple of sayings, most wonderful time of the year. You've got the name of all of your deer. I know a lot of people like this kind of country, old style truck and tree in the background. Some bells, because those are very traditional. But my favorite in this set is probably the Santa cam. And I just kind of threw that one in there. I just kind of think that's funny. You might be able to fool the little kids with it. I grew up in a household where my siblings, some of them really like to snoop, and even went as far as to kind of almost open packages to see what was in them. So I thought the Santa cam tag was really a cute idea, because you might be able to keep, a few curious minds at bay for a while. With older people, they might just kind of find it funny. I don't know, but I thought it was cute. It amused me, so I added it to this set of tags. So our next one, this is another one of my favorites. I love the opulence of these bulbs. It's kind of a small image, but if you can blow it up on your screen, you'll see that they're very extravagant. There's a lot of silver metalwork, jewels. They're just really, really decadent, and I think they're fabulous. This is one of my favorite sets, but it is one that I would have to cut out on the Cricut because of those rounded tops, and because I just don't enjoy fussy cutting at all, and I'm not good at it, which is probably why I don't enjoy it. So our next set, this is again just traditional. This is called Christmas Garden Tags Collection, and again, traditional colors. These are white tags, and well, the background's white, but they're all shaped like the kind of squared off or cut corner top. I don't really know what that shape is called, but you could cut these out by hand, except for one thing. If you print them on white, you won't know where to cut. So I would either use your electronic cutting machine with these, if you have one, or dies, if you have those. I would also consider, you could just cut them out in rectangles. That would work as well. But the other thing I would do is I would definitely pull them into my cutting machine. Design Space is what I use, and cut them out that way. Because if you print them on white, you're not going to be able to know where, you're not going to be able to see the edge of your tags. So I would do that. The other thing I would do is, well, actually I think that's about it. I just would not print them on white. You know what? A light gray would work, a light green, maybe I wouldn't use blue in this particular case because there's really no blue in it, but even a light brown or tan if you're going for something vintagey, which these definitely fall into the vintage category. So I'm going to show you how I cut mine out with the guillotine cutter. Like I said, you can use any trimmer that you like. You can even just use scissors. Whatever's easier for you, use what you have in stock, in your stash. But this is how I would cut these if I were cutting them by hand. And again, they're all straight edges, and that's what makes it easy enough that I'm comfortable doing it this way. So you just line them up and slice them out of there. It is a little bit harder initially for me at least, to line that up exactly on that cutting edge, but once I get it figured out, or even if I have to cut a little bit less off and then adjust it a little bit, I will. But this is one of the other cutters I was saying you could use. I don't like it because it tends to shred the edge of my paper or cardstock, so not my favorite. But once I get these lined up, this tends to work pretty well. And again, I apologize if I sound like I'm rambling. The overdub was unexpected and it's not something I normally do. But essentially you can see here, you just see I'm shoving it over a little bit more to cut off a little bit more. And then I'm going to go and finish cutting out these two strips here. And once I do that, it gets a little easier because I can see the edge of the tag because it's closer to the edge of the cardstock. Yeah, trim a little bit more off of this one. You can always take more away, but you can't add it back, right? Even though I know that fundamentally, I sometimes forget it and get a little bit too ahead of myself. All right, now that I've got the tops and the bottom cut off, I can easily see where that edge of that tag is. And I can't easily show you, but you can see the edge of the tag, and the top and the bottom of that make it easier to see on this edge over here because you can see your cutting edge. And then I can get it right where it needs to be. So once I've got the top and the bottom cut off, I can just whip through these pretty quickly. Yeah, I was trying to flip that to see, because it is easier to see the bottom of the tag than the top because of that angle on the top. But in the end, I had to do it that way because I didn't feel comfortable with the way flipping it upside down. So I have no idea what I'm talking about here with my hands waving in the air, but I'm sure it seemed important at the time. So then I'm going to go in though and trim off those corners. And again, you could use scissors. This isn't a very big cut. Or you can use your cutting tool, whether it's a guillotine like this one, which is the Tim Holtz mini one, or one of the larger ones that has the razor blade that slides up and down the track. Whatever works for you is what you could use. If you have scissors, the old-fashioned scrapbook scissors, I still have a few pair around here. You could even cut these out with those, and that would give them jaggedy edges, you know, in whatever style pattern is on your scissors. That might be kind of fun as well. That made me think of something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. So I've left this, because I'm cutting these out by hand, you can see where the hole needs to go. I'm using a hole punch. It's about 1/4 of an inch hole punch, which I picked up at Walmart, so it's not anything special. You can get it pretty much anywhere. And I just kind of line it up where I can see it best and then punch out my holes. But if you're using your cutting machine, you can certainly have it cut out those holes while you're at it. That's just one less thing for you to do later. I did want to tell you that for these, I used a 65-pound white cardstock. I think 80 would have been better. I think I would have preferred that, but I didn't have any of that. I do have the, 100 or 110-pound Nina Classic Crest cardstock, but that's too heavy for me, for what I'm doing, because I'm actually going to try to sell some of these during the holidays, so to see if I can help raise money for, like I said, these local charities that I want to help out. So I would say if you want to make these permanent and reuse them year after year, which you certainly could do, that you'd want to use a heavier cardstock. If you're going to be doing a lot of layering, like the tags I did in the previous video, you can go with a medium or even lightweight cardstock because you're going to be layering. You'd probably want the base of the card, of the tag, to be something a little bit heavier, but everything you put on top of that, you can use a lighter weight. But I think, you know, for a single use, and these will be okay. And honestly, if you took care of them, you could use them a couple of times. You could even cut the bottom where the to and the from is off, and then it becomes an ornament that they can hang on their tree next year. But I think these are cute for whether it's for your family holiday or something for your office or your coworkers, or maybe you like to visit your doctor's offices and drop off things at the holidays, whatever it's for. I think these are really cute. So I'm just making a couple of extra trims just to get rid of that white edge. Now you could take your ink, if you've got ink pads, and go around the edges. I would use, like vintage photo or something here on these. And I would like that look. I just didn't take the time to do it, but I think those would look really good. But that's up to you. You don't have to do that. You could also take a pen and color the edges if you really want to, take it up a notch. By pen, I mean marker, something like a Sharpie or a different kind of marker. So now we're in Design Space. And the beauty of this is you can see I've got these all laid out on this background. Now, I can't remember where I got this background from. The lady who made this created several different sizes of it. But this is the one that I picked up, and because I usually print on 8.5 by 11. And it works great. It comes in large, and then you just have to resize it up there in your size box, and she's got the sizes right on it. So if I can find the link for her blog spot where you can download these, I will add that in the comments below. I will try to also add a lot of the links for the Creative Fabrica image sets, but I may not be able to find all of them. So anyway, so there's your image, and once you line everything up on there, it'll fit, and your print then cut will work. And I like it because it allows me to get the most bang for my buck, so to speak. I hate to waste anything, and this allows me to fill up my page. And you can see I've got some extra space down here, which would allow me to either put in another tag or a different image or maybe a sentiment or something, and have that cut out as well. And like I said, I just like to get the most bang for my buck. So I did have to play with it a little bit because I was a little bit too close to some of the edges, and I wasn't sure which one was giving me a hard time. But once I attached everything, because you do want to attach, now you don't want to attach the pink paper in the background, but you do want to attach all the tags once you get them laid out. And once I had done that, I realized that there was an error. It was telling me it was too big. So I did have to go in and manipulate those and move them around a little bit to get them in the right spot. So we're going to go into my upload folder, and you can see where I uploaded this set of tags. And I'm going to show you how I separated them, because they come in as one big image basically, and they need to be separated if you're going to move them around on your mat so that you can get them all on there at that current size. I did have to resize it though, because it did come in larger than it needed to be. And I set my file up when I was working on it in my design software to 8.25 by 10.75, I believe. So that's the size that they are originally, but like I said, that's the great thing about this Design Space and so many other applications now. You can adjust that to your whim, whereas with dies, you're kind of locked in. You are locked into a size. So I basically bring in this square, and then I'm going to change it to a rectangle and cover up the first of the tags. And once I do that, then I'm just going to duplicate that several times so that I can cover every tag in that top row. And I just make sure that when I'm placing those squares that I've got them exactly over the top of the tag, so that none of the tag is peeking out from around it and that they're not touching any of the tags below it. So once I get those on there, I'm going to select all 4 of them. I'm going to duplicate those, and then I'm going to drag them down to cover up the second row. And then I will just repeat that by duplicating it again and dragging that set down to the bottom row. And again, I'm just double checking to make sure everything's lined up, because I don't want to cut any of the tags off if I can help it. You could always redo it, undo and redo, but if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do that, right? So I think that's just me double checking again. So what I'm doing, I tried grouping them. That's what I did. I grouped them hoping that I could select everything and slice, but it doesn't let you do that with group stuff. And I know that, but you know, they're updating all the time, so I'm always hoping that maybe someday that'll actually work, but it didn't work today. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select the bottom layer that you can't see, which is the tags, and I'm going to select one of those rectangles. And I'm going to slice. And I'm just going to keep doing that with each and every one of them. I'll select the layer of tags, and then I will select the next rectangle in the list. And I will just do that till all 12 of them have been sliced apart from the main sheet. And that does take me a minute, but it was easier this way than just, you know, trying to bring in one square at a time or just do one tag at a time. If I lined everything up first, I could just kind of whip through it pretty quickly. I mean, it really only takes me maybe a minute here. It feels longer when I'm trying to fill that space with talk time, but it really only was about a minute or less. Mostly, I just kind of kept losing my place. And there I'm showing you, you don't want to grab the tag shape. You want to grab the square or the rectangle shape. I keep saying square because when we brought it into the work surface or the canvas, it was a square, but we changed the shape of it to make it a rectangle. And so now I'm going to be selecting, it looks like I'm on the last one, and I'm selecting that last tag, which I really probably didn't even need to do, to be honest, because it should have already been separated. And now I'm just going to go through and select each one of these black pieces on top that have been cut away and delete those. And I missed one. So after that, I'm going to go in and then select all of the tags, and I'm going to just pull them off to the side so that I can delete the backgrounds. I could have just as easily selected the backgrounds and deleted those, but you know, live and learn. So I missed a couple, so I'm going to go back in and grab those. We'll pull that off to the side. My system was running really slow. I've tried to clean it up a little bit to speed things up, but so far it hasn't made a huge impact. So we'll select those again and delete. And now you have your tags, and they're all individual. Instead of being one big sheet of tags, they're all separate like you can see over here. And you can see I still didn't get that quite right. It's still warning me with this red exclamation point here that my sizing's not quite right. So I made another copy of the background sheet, or alignment sheets, what I like to call it. And I'm going to send it to the back, and I'm going to pull it over behind these tags and then just realign them and get them to print out so that I can cut them. Now before I do any of that, what I should have done, I should have went ahead and cut out these circles, but I did try that at one point and my system was just not cooperating, so I probably need to reboot my laptop. But in the middle of all this, I just didn't want to take the time to do that. So before you go and cut these out, unless you would rather hole punch them, I would go ahead and add your circle or whatever shape you're going to use to put your string or thread or ribbon through. I would go ahead and cut those out before you put them and align them on your background mat. And once you've done that, then you're free to align everything, attach it once you've got rid of that exclamation point that I told you about, and then you're free to cut it, or print it, and then cut it. So I'm going to do that, and then we will be right back. Alright, so I've got these cut out. You can see I got them all on there, but I did make a little faux pas. I forgot to line up my arrow at the top, since I'm using the bottom corner of my cutting mat. I forgot to line that up, so it started cutting out wrong. Now, because I always watch it initially to make sure I haven't done something wrong, I did catch it, and it only messed up 2 tags. But it did mess those up, so that's my bad. So make sure you watch that. But you can see I was able to get all 12 of them in the cutting area for an 8.5 by 11. Now I'm just trying to get them off my mat. I did burnish them down really good because I didn't want them coming up, so they're very well adhered. Here we go. We're on a roll now. maybe. There we go. And that's it. Okay. So you can see these are quite a bit smaller than the original ones that we did. These measure, let's see, that's about 2 3/4 by 2.5. So they are noticeably smaller, but honestly this is probably closer to being the right size. I do like the bigger ones though. But with the smaller one you do get 12 to a sheet. You've got plenty of room to write your to and from. You've even got some room on the back if you need it. So I did finish cutting these out. I'm just going to slide those off out of the way and kind of pull these in here so you can see them. And there you go. So I'm going to be giving away 3 sets, like I said, of the tags, with this first set being one of them. I'm going to put them all on Ko-Fi just because I think that's easier, but the 3 freebies I will also download, or whatever you call it, into the Facebook group, so you might be able to pull them from there. But the others again are for sale, and I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap this up. I was able to edit it and cut quite a bit of my yabbering out, so it's not as long as it was. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I really appreciate you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these. Is this something you would use or like to have? Oh, I did want to tell you, I also used the bleed on these. You don't need to, but it does make sure that you do not get that, little bit of white on the edge. But you can see every one of these lined up really well. So I don't think you need to use the bleed if you don't want to. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, each and every one of you. I would love to hear your comments, your feedback, and if you wouldn't mind liking the video if you got anything useful out of it. And until next time, stay tuned. I do have one more freebie coming up. I just haven't made it yet. I've designed it, but I haven't made it. So that'll be the next video. And I guess our next big number that we're shooting for is 2,500, but that may take a while because, yeah, that's a big number for me. So again, thank you guys all so very, very much. I really appreciate you. And look for the links below. And if you don't see something you're interested in, let me know and I will try to help you. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a happy, crafty day.